diameter water main, let's say. Main. I'm not going to give more description. Payment certificate number. Let's just say this is number 3. Because normally what happens is, when we did our claims, we said you got claim 1, claim 2, claim 3, and so on. So this is now basically your third claim that you send through, and now the client would actually process it. In other words, you are actually on behalf of the client now in processing a payment certificate. Right. Normally you put the contractor's name. Let's just say here ABC projects and the address, and then the commencement date for the contract. I'm just going to say, let's say this contract started around about the 16th of Jan 2022. Contract completion date, I'm just what happened there now? Okay, I need to put the date in the date format. Oh, let me go and format that quickly. Okay, that one, and I presume this would be the same here as well. Okay. Whatever the dates are, I'm not too. Right, then you would put a completion date, and let's say I'm gonna just put the same completion date. Let's make it, because it's showing me now 20. Let's just say the completion is 30 September 2016 as well. Same thing, because I'm gonna just put a completion date on there. Right. And then let's say currently we got the work covering until, I'm just gonna put last week's date. Let's say till the Friday. What was the Friday? 6 May. Right, work covering 6 May. Well, leave the year. Don't worry too much about the year. I'm not worried too much, right? Okay. So, any extensions to the contract? Any VOs? VO stands for variation order. Extension would mean that if you were given an extension, let's say because there was a delay which wasn't your fault, that's the only time you'll be given an extension. And I'm going to say there's nothing here. There's no variation orders as well, right? So variation order is, let's say, for argument's sake, you started the work now. You're doing we said it's a 500 diameter water main. And as you're trenching for the main, you realize that there's now a sewer pipe or something running which wasn't shown on the drawing, so you didn't price for that. So for you now to either divert that sewer pipe or to relocate it would cost you money. So for you to do that, you would normally tell the client, listen, we need to move this. The client would normally come out on site, or depending on, he might just ask you quickly, how much is it going to cost? And you say, it's going to cost 5,000 Rand. He might say, okay, it's fine, because we have what we call contingency. We'll take it off the contingency. But let's say, for argument's sake, now you say to move the sewer pipe is going to cost 200,000, and he thinks, hey, that's a bit too much for it's not market related. Then he'll probably come out on site, and he'll have to look at why you say it's 200 or whatever the case, and then he'll authorize, and you will agree on a price, which normally would be a written agreement. And then, because the written agreement is in the form of a variation order. Variation order means, that's why it's called a VO, variation order, meaning that you're going to variate from the original contract that you signed. And yeah, nothing formal, doesn't have to go through tender board and all that. You'll just sign a VO, the date, and you'll say contractor agrees to relocate pipe at a agreed amount of 5,000 Rand or whatever the case may be. And contractor and you sign, he gets a copy. One goes into the file, the contract file, and one normally stays in the book itself for further reference. Right. On this particular contract, we're given additional information. It says the tender sum excluding VAT was 895,325. Additional expenditure, well, let's assume that it's the same additional expenditure that I was talking about, the pipe. It came to 4579. So I'm going to put a variation order number here. VO number, let's say 54789. Right, that's normally it'll be normally it'll be the number on the document. It's normally a carbon pre-printed book. So in there it'll have numbers, and normally you'll notice there's at least 3 copies, the original and 2 carbon copies. So on that number now it says 54789. That's the number of the variation, and there's the additional expenditure that we incurred, which is now for the relocation of the pipe. I don't need to say what it is really. Then so far the materials cost is 8675. Then your damages is basically what you are liable for as a contractor. Sorry, I said you work as a client here. What the contractor is liable for. Let's say while he was excavating the trench, he damaged a water pipe. Let's say he damaged a water pipe, and now we had to send our water department. Let's say the job is for the municipality, Durban Metro, because somebody didn't have water, the complaint, and when we went out there, we realized that he had broken a pipe. That's why they got no water, and our guys had to repair that pipe quickly. Let's just say they just put a fitting there and came, and it costed 457 Rand. So the contractor is liable for that amount. Right. Additional expenditure, we liable as a client, we have to pay the contractor. That means additional expenditure to the project. But damages means what the contractor is due for, right? What he's liable for. Then the previous payment, so far we paid them 356,703. That would have been the total that was paid for certificate 1 and 2. And then the committed amount for this contract here is 367, for further 367 for this payment certificate. So normally you'll notice that when the contract starts, the claim is not as much as you progress into the project. So that's why you'll notice the first 2 claims only amount to 356. The third claim, when we probably in the execution phase, is giving us 367,234. Then contingencies is 12%, meaning that when you normally price a job, we allow for contingencies, things that are unforeseen. Let's say now all of a sudden we undermeasured the length of the pipeline. We said it was going to be 3.465 kilometers, but it's actually 3.765 kilometers. So the additional 300 meters can come from the 12% that you would have budgeted. Now, if you don't spend that money on the project, then that money goes back into the kitty for the client, eh? Right, the contractor won't get paid the contingencies. Contingencies is just there for anything. Obviously, that additional 457 as well is coming off the contingencies, eh? Not 4579. Let's say for relocating the pipe, the sewer pipe comes from the contingency that we allowed. Then in this instance, I'm saying escalation is 27%. Very fictitious figure, but I don't want to give you real figures so that you can see what's happening. And escalation means that when you price the job, when the contractor priced the job, he would have given a price. But because material prices normally go up and so on, then the contractor will get paid the current price. So now he's putting his claim. I'll see what's the price of, let's say, for argument's sake, the pipes. If the price of the pipes has gone up from the time he priced it, we'll pay him that amount. When he priced initially, he worked on plant at a rate. Now the plant rate is gone up because of fuel and so on. You'll get paid the escalatable amount. And normally the main factors in escalation is your fuel, your plant, your labor, and obviously your materials. Right? Those are the main things that are escalatable. And then in this instance, they said retention is 10%, meaning the client will owe 10% of the amount. Right. So this is how we're going to go. There's a standard payment certificate. It can vary slightly, but the crux of it should be the same, where we got the tender sum excluding VAT, which in this case was 895,325. Then we added VAT at 15%. Total tender sum comes to 1,029,623.75. Plus any additional expenditure. There we go. We said the additional expenditure was 4,579. Plus your contingencies at 12%. Now you'll notice that I got a formula. Yeah, there we go. Right. If you look at it, your 12% is on the total tender sum, eh? And you don't go and add your plus additional expenditure and then work out your escalation. Because remember, this additional expenditure only comes in later when the project starts. For example, we didn't know at the time of tender that there was going to be a sewer pipe that we needed to relocate. So that's why you'll notice that this amount, 12%, is only on the total tender sum. If you look at it, it's 12% of 1029. Right? So that comes to 123,000. Give us a gross tender amount of, you'll notice the tender amount as well is going to be our 10, which is our 1029, plus the 4,579, plus the 123,554.85, which gave us 115,7757. That's the total or gross amount of your contract. Right. Now total committed to date. So there we go. We said total committed to date. We are given 367,234. Add your escalation. Escalation 27% means that it's going to be 1.27 times the actual amount, because 27% more means 1.27. And you'll notice that my escalation is going to be 1.27 times the total committed to date, which is 367, means that my amount with my escalation is going to come to 466. So although we're saying total that we're claiming to date, total committed is 367, plus your escalation means that the client is actually going to be paid 467 in total, because escalation, you get indices on a monthly basis. And every time you get a certificate, you use the current month escalation. And then I'm going to take away 10% of that, which gives us 4,638.72, 10% of 4,638.18. And you'll notice that I need to add my materials, because that's why it says less retention. I'm going to minus that amount, the 46,638. Add materials. Materials in this case was 8675. I'm going to add 8675. And then less any damages, liquidated damages it's called. So in other words, what the contractor is due, 457 rand in this instance. So, and I take away any previous payments that he got, which amounts to 356,703 rand. And you'll notice that he's going to get paid on this certificate 71,263 rand and 46 cents. That's how much he's going to get paid on this payment certificate. And normally you'll put status of work. In this case, it's in progress. If it's completed, you normally say completed there, and you'll put your date when it was completed, and you'll submit that. And quite often you'll notice that most clients say that on completion, when they finish the job, they only owed 5% of the retention. So they'll release another 5%. But because this is not completed, we're not holding 10%. Any questions, class? Any questions, class, regarding this? I will post this on Moodle. Any questions?
No, sir.
Sorry? No. Yes, no?
No. No.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll post this on Moodle, and what you call yeah, I'll also, as I said, any updates on when your final date for your exam, I'll also post on Moodle. Currently, I said round about the 13th, but as soon as I know, I'm not sure whether it's going to be this week, next week, or what, I will post those information as well. Okay, if there's no further question, thank you very much.